Welcome to another Explainer. Today we're tackling a very specific, and let's be honest, sometimes really frustrating challenge for the focused gardener, growing tomatoes right here in the Midwest. You know, most gardeners in Missouri don't lose their tomato plants because they bought a bad batch of seeds. They lose them because they plant them at the exact wrong time out of pure, unadulterated spring fever. Literally, one cold night can destroy weeks of hard work, and on the flip side, one intense heat wave can ruin your production before summer even peaks. So we're going to use the data to help you grow way stronger plants, avoid those really common failures, and ultimately get much better harvests season after season.
Here's a quick roadmap for this explainer. First, Missouri's unpredictable spring weather. Second, why soil temperature is absolutely everything. Third, starting seeds indoors properly. Fourth, avoiding common planting mistakes. And finally, number 5, surviving the summer heat.
Section 1. Missouri's unpredictable spring weather.
Okay, so the very first hurdle we have to get over is realizing that a single warm, sunny week does not mean planting season has officially started. You really have to consider the massive variance in the state's topography. For example, the Ozark Plateau down in the southern half of the state has a much higher elevation, and that actually delays its frost-free date significantly. Folks living in the Ozarks might not see their last frost until late April or even early May, which is basically identical to northern Missouri. Meanwhile, if you just drop down into the lower elevations of the southeastern boot heel, they warm up a full month earlier. So knowing your highly specific local topography is absolutely crucial.
And here's exactly why timing that frost date matters so much. We have to remember that tomatoes are essentially tender perennials straight from the tropics. They are incredibly sensitive. If you expose them to temperatures below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, it causes severe chilling injury. That slows their growth down, it stresses the plant out, and it heavily stunts root development. And if that temperature drops to 32 degrees or below, no way around it, that causes catastrophic tissue death. Just one impatient decision to rush them outdoors can literally reset your entire growing season.
Section 2. Soil temperature is everything. Understanding this next concept is probably the biggest paradigm shift for beginner gardeners. It is time to completely throw away the calendar and focus purely on the ground beneath your feet. You see, a lot of beginners just check their daytime weather app. You step outside, it feels like a beautiful, comfortable 70-degree spring afternoon, and you immediately think, awesome, it's time to plant. But that warm air is totally deceptive. Tomatoes respond heavily to soil warmth. A nice sunny afternoon doesn't just erase the reality of freezing cold nighttime soil. If you drop a tender tropical root system into cold ground, it halts germination, it stunts weak roots, and it essentially invites disease. Cold soil is the absolute enemy of healthy tomato roots.
So your absolute magic threshold is this number right here, 60 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what you're looking for. Specifically, you want the bare soil at a depth of about 4 inches to be consistently at or above 60 degrees before you even think about transplanting your tomatoes outside. And here's a massive pro tip for Missourians. You don't even have to guess this or go buy a thermometer. You can just check the Missouri Mesonet website online. It gives you real-time 4-inch deep bare soil temperature readings from weather stations all across the state. Always let the soil tell you when it's time, not the air.
Section 3. Starting seeds indoors properly.
Now, because we have to patiently wait for that outdoor soil to warm up, starting seeds indoors is how we take control of the environment and effectively extend our growing season. Here's a quick breakdown of the ideal indoor timeline based on your region. If you're down on the boot heel, you want to start indoors in late February. For central and northern Missouri, hold off until mid to late March. But here's the biological secret. To get these seeds to sprout fast, they need an environment that mimics their tropical origins. They really need 77 to 80 degrees for rapid imbibition and germination. If you try to germinate them at a chilly 60 degrees, it takes over 2 weeks. And that leaves your seeds sitting there, highly vulnerable to fungal pathogens like Pythium that will cause them to just rot away before they even break the surface.
Okay, so once you have a beautiful, healthy seedling, you can't just toss it directly into the harsh Missouri spring. You absolutely have to use the hardening off protocol. Basically, over a period of 7 to 14 days, you gradually introduce the plant to the great outdoors. You start them in the shade, slowly increase their sun and wind exposure, and slightly hold back on water and nitrogen. The physiological magic happening here is pretty incredible. It actually thickens the plant's leaf cuticle to prevent moisture loss, and it builds up soluble sugars within the plant. Those sugars literally lower the freezing point of the plant's cell sap. It's like the plant is building its own natural antifreeze, making it chemically tougher and way more resistant to cold snaps.
Section 4. Avoiding common planting mistakes.
All right, your hardened-off seedlings are ready to go. Let's rapid fire through the top mistakes impatient beginners make when they finally move these plants outside. Number 1, planting outdoors too early just because the sun happens to be shining. Number 2, ignoring those overnight lows. Remember, anything dipping below 50 causes chilling injury. Number 3, overwatering your seedlings, which literally suffocates the roots. Number 4, poor lighting indoors, which leaves you with weak, stretched out, leggy plants. And number 5, skipping that crucial hardening off phase we just talked about. Impatience, not a lack of skill, is for sure the primary killer of Missouri tomatoes.
Another massive mistake is over-fertilizing. I love this quote from David Trinklin at the MU Extension. He says, applying a full-strength fertilizer solution to a young seedling would be like feeding steak and potatoes to a 6-week-old baby. It perfectly hits the nail on the head. Young root systems are incredibly tender. If you hit them with high-nitrogen turf fertilizers or full-strength mixes way too early, you're just going to burn the roots right off and ruin the plant. Nurture them gently with half-strength solutions early on.
So when it is finally time to put them into that perfect 60-degree soil, here's a brilliant hack for you: deep planting or trenching. Tomatoes have this really unique ability to grow adventitious roots straight out of their stems. So if you've got a tall, leggy seedling, don't dig a massive deep hole. Instead, dig a shallow trench and actually lay the stem horizontally, burying it right up to its first set of true leaves. That entire buried stem is going to erupt with a massive root system, giving the plant incredible access to deep soil moisture. And trust me, you're going to need that moisture for our next major challenge.
Section 5. Surviving the summer heat.
So, we've successfully navigated the freezing cold of spring, but as we pivot into the second half of the Missouri growing season, the threat completely shifts to unrelenting extreme heat. Ask yourself, have you ever had a totally lush, beautifully watered tomato plant in the middle of July that's just covered in yellow flowers, but then it suddenly stops producing any actual fruit? Yeah, you are definitely not alone on that one.
What you're seeing there is severe temperature stress. When daytime highs consistently punch above 90 degrees Fahrenheit and those nighttime temperatures refuse to drop below 70 degrees, tomatoes suffer extreme physiological stress. The heat actually causes pollen sterility. The flowers literally cannot pollinate, so the plant just aborts them entirely. It's a condition known as blossom drop. You end up with a ton of green leaves, a bunch of dropped yellow flowers, and absolutely zero tomatoes.
But this brings us to a secret weapon used by highly experienced growers: the bimodal strategy. You don't have to limit yourself to just a single spring planting. Start a second wave of seeds indoors right around mid-July. By August, when your spring plants are totally exhausted from the summer heat, you transplant this fresh, heat-tolerant second wave out into the garden. As these new plants start flowering in September, they get to take full advantage of those sweet, cool fall nights where pollination thrives. That sets you up for a massive secondary harvest that can last all the way through October.
To sum up everything in this explainer today, patience creates production, and observation always beats excitement. Growing tomatoes successfully in Missouri is entirely connected to your timing and your observation. Keep an eye on the weather, respect those early frost risks, build up strong seedlings first, and actually work with your local conditions instead of constantly fighting against them. I want to leave you with this final thought to kind of chew on as you plan out your upcoming season. Are you letting a generic wall calendar dictate your garden, or are you actually letting the soil temperature tell you when it's time to plant? Reframe your entire approach around the data we talked about today, and I promise your plants will thank you with a massive harvest. Finally, please note that this explainer is for educational and informational purposes only and does not provide professional agricultural or horticultural advice. Frost dates, soil temperatures, and planting schedules can vary widely, so always verify your specific local conditions. Thanks so much for learning with us today.